Me and my girlfriend were in a city in Texas off the highway, and we stopped at a tiny gas station to get beer and chips and such. For some reason, when we pulled in, I felt the need to say, I actually think I need to come in with you. That was weird because I usually stay in the car when we go places, or when I get out, I don't feel the need to announce it. When we walked in, everything felt normal. We were just laughing and joking about how the half-naked model girl cardboard cutout had a super pixelated face. We started looking at beer, and I was being indecisive. But I could tell we were both getting really sketched out, so I just grabbed 2 coconut margarita type drinks without thinking about it, and rushed to the counter thinking we needed to get out. There was a growing feeling of being watched. It was like pure malice I haven't felt before. I can't describe it. There was an old Hispanic man leaning on the ice cream cooler right by the counter and watching every customer. Everything felt slow. It's hard to explain. When I put my stuff on the counter, the man started smiling at us really wide and talking in a very strange manner, like he was trying to be charming or personable, but he just came off as really strange and off. Outside the door, I could see a man in a red jacket also staring in the doors, just watching and waiting. They were waiting. I cannot explain the overwhelming feeling of dread that we had, and we didn't talk about it until we were driving out of the parking lot, and the man in the red jacket was still circling the building, watching the car drive off. This city we were in had a reputation of having a lot of human trafficking victims coming in and out, and I honestly think that they were waiting for the perfect victim to take. I honestly think if I hadn't gone in with my girlfriend, she would have been taken, or I would have been taken from the car. I have never had such an intense, looming feeling of doom and paranoia. It seems very mundane, but it was definitely a very close call, and we kept discussing it the rest of the night, and how lucky we were we went in together and got out as quick as we could. A few weeks ago, I was reading some articles about the dark web. I found it intriguing and thought of the unknown drew me in. The fact there's so much hidden content in the dark web made me want to attempt to go on it, so I did. I found a guide on how to access this part of the internet, and I followed every step, although there were only a few. Download Tor, check. Download a VPN, check. Find .onion links, check. I thought, was that really all there was to it? Just that easy? I gained access to the deeper parts of the web through the browser Tor. It was boring at first because there wasn't too much to look at, just a blank page. I knew it wasn't like the regular web. I had to find specific links to type in. I found a wiki page full of .onion links before I got started, so I looked through to find something interesting. I wasn't on the dark web to buy anything or do anything illegal. I just wanted to look. My curiosity got the better of me. The links didn't have description on what they were, so I had to take my chances whichever one I type in. I copy and pasted in a link that seemed a bit creepy, mainly because I was alone and wanted to scare myself, while I waited for my girlfriend to get home. I hit enter and the page loaded. It was a pitch black page with small white text written on the bottom left corner. It was so tiny I couldn't even read it. The text slowly began to get bigger. Finally, enough to where I could read it. "Be careful what you click on," it wrote. Okay, weird, I thought. I clicked out of the link and moved down the list of links. I copy and pasted another. The page loaded up. It was a black and red page with a text box saying, "Enter name." It looked like it was a computer game. Alexa, I typed into the box. Another text box showed up, this time saying, last name too. Okay, I know what you all think. You must be stupid to give your full name over the dark web. Yes, I know. And yes, I was. That is where it all went wrong. More. I typed into the computer. Inside, I felt a bit nervous. I was wondering why I even gave my real name. Like, who does that? I could have entered a fake name. It looked like it was a harmless game. What could happen? Some animation started after I hit enter. It was a man chasing a woman in a house with a knife. A body of text that said, "Your objective is to not get killed, Alexa. It can only happen in a matter of seconds. You cannot hide from us. We will always be watching." I hated that those words sounded like they were directed at me. It was a little nerve-wracking, especially because after those words, I saw my name being typed in over the woman running from the knife. Let alone my name being on the screen, I wasn't even able to control anything in the game. It was just a video I was watching, and it seemed to replay every time the woman was killed. As the video played, the woman started to look more like me. It was crazy. I was sitting there watching an animated version of myself being murdered over and over again. The last replay of the video had the woman with her legs cut off and bleeding out on the floor, and the killer left. Strange enough, more words began to appear on the screen. "We're almost to you, Alexa. We can't wait to meet you." My heart began to race. What the heck was this about? I thought, it's nothing, I'm perfectly fine. I tried to close out of the page and it kept giving me an error message. I tried 3 more times, all said the same thing. Error, cannot exit. I reset my computer, hoping it would take care of everything. I didn't pick my computer back up to check. I still felt too creeped out. I guess that's what I wanted, right? My girlfriend was supposed to get home soon, so I went downstairs to the kitchen to get dinner started. I poured myself a glass of wine to calm myself after watching myself die repeatedly. I'm never going back on the dark web again. That freaked me out way too much. And besides, I'm not sure if I was even using it correctly, I thought. The VPN I downloaded seemed a bit sketchy. I didn't have to pay for it, and it kept cutting in and out, leaving minutes at a time unsecured. I hear the door open. Thinking it was my girlfriend, I got excited. It's been a long day and I wanted to share what had happened with her. I heard footsteps. I called out, "Honey, I'm in the kitchen." I didn't hear her voice. Normally she announces when she's home. I started to get a bit worried and walked towards the front door. It was wide open, with no one there. I felt the pit of anxiety in my stomach. I ran back to the kitchen in an attempt to grab a weapon to protect myself with. I was looking for the butcher knife in the knife block, with little to no avail. That was the only knife missing. I heard footsteps again, so I grabbed one of the knives and booked it upstairs. I went into my bedroom, turned the lights off, and locked the door. "We're always watching you, Alexa Moore." What a naive thing to do. Entering your full name on the dark web, unprotected. We found you in a matter of seconds. You know how quickly and easily it was to find your location? Remember the game you played? That's gonna quickly be your reality. I heard in a deep voice. My heart dropped. I was afraid of what was going to happen next. The next thing I knew, I was knocked cold on the floor. I woke up maybe 45 minutes later due to excruciating pain. Blood everywhere. Pain and more pain. My vision was blurry from tears. I looked down and saw my legs torn from my body. All I could think about besides my pain was my girlfriend. Where was she? Is she alive? I couldn't see or hear anyone. I was hoping whoever did this was gone. They must have taken my limbs because I didn't see them on the floor. I started to hear the sound of fate sirens, getting louder as they came closer. A few minutes later, a rush of paramedics and police came into my room. I was lifted onto a gurney and carried downstairs. That is where I saw my girlfriend on the floor, bleeding out. Before I was taken outside into the ambulance, I saw them close her eyes. I knew what that meant. My heart broke even more inside. Once I was in the ambulance, everything went black. I was about 8 or 9, traveling from the UK to France by ferry in the 1980s with my family, and had made friends with another girl around my age. For those who don't know, these ferries are really large and hold hundreds of people, with maybe 4 or 5 floors consisting of a maze of corridors and cabins. Anyway, we were playing unsupervised in the corridors near the main seating area, and all of a sudden, a man dressed as a mime with full face paint and a black and white outfit appeared before us. I could feel him watching us, and after a few minutes, when he saw we were curious, he started performing. Intrigued, we watched him for a while. However, it took a creepy turn, with him beckoning us to follow him down the maze of corridors, and of course there was no one around. We started to follow at first, but the hairs on the back of my neck stood up and told me it was a really, really bad idea to go any further. I said something to my friend and we ran back to our parents. He didn't try to follow us, and luckily, we didn't see him again during our 5-hour trip. Not sure my parents believed me when I told them what happened, but I certainly didn't want to meet him again, and didn't venture down the corridors alone for the rest of the trip.